Seniors, stop. You might be destroying your brain right now without even knowing it. I'm not trying to scare you. Here, but what if I told you that something you do every single day, probably multiple times a day, is literally shrinking your brain faster than natural aging ever could? Scientists at UCLA just discovered that people who do this one common thing have brains that look 10 years older on brain scans. Not 5 years, 10 whole years. And here's the terrifying part. Over 70% of seniors do this habit daily, thinking it's completely harmless or even good for them. By the time you finish watching this, you'll know exactly what accelerates dementia. Backed by shocking studies that made researchers do double takes at their own data. But before we dive into all 7 brain-destroying habits, let me tell you about number 1 on our list. It's something so common that when Japanese researchers studied 20,000 people for 15 years, they found that those who did this habit had a 68% higher chance of developing dementia. 68%, that's not a typo. And the worst part, most doctors don't even warn their patients about it because it seems so innocent. Before we begin, tell us in the comments now your age and where you're watching us from. We're reading and replying to every single comment. So drop your comments below. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 7, skipping your morning walk. Let's start with something that seems minor but packs a massive punch against your brain health. When you skip physical activity, especially that morning walk, you're basically telling your brain to start shutting down early. A study from the University of British Columbia looked at 6,000 adults over age 65 for 8 years. The results were mind-blowing. People who walked less than 4,000 steps a day had hippocampus volumes that were 23% smaller than active walkers. The hippocampus is your memory center. When it shrinks, you forget where you put your keys. Then you forget names. Then you forget faces. But here's what really shocked researchers. It's not about intense exercise. You don't need to run marathons or lift heavy weights. The magic happens with just 30 minutes of moderate walking daily. When you walk, your heart pumps more oxygen-rich blood to your brain. This triggers the release of something called BDNF, which stands for brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Think of BDNF as miracle growth for your brain cells. Without it, your neurons literally start dying off faster than your body can replace them. The best time for this walk is within 2 hours of waking up. Morning sunlight hitting your eyes sets your circadian rhythm, which helps your brain clean out toxic proteins at night. These proteins, called beta amyloid plaques, are what build up in Alzheimer's patients' brains. A Stanford study found that morning walkers had 40% less beta amyloid buildup compared to afternoon exercisers. To get maximum benefits, walk in a pace where you can talk, but you'd rather not. This sweet spot increases blood flow to your prefrontal cortex by 35%. Add some variety to your route because new visual stimulation creates new neural pathways. Walk backward for 30 seconds every 5 minutes if it's safe. This simple trick activates different brain regions and improves balance, which is directly linked to cognitive function. Your brain actually grows new cells when you walk regularly. The University of Pittsburgh proved this by scanning brains before and after a 6-month walking program. Participants' hippocampus regions grew by 2%. That might sound small, but it reverses 1 to 2 years of normal aging. If you have knee or hip problems, try walking in a pool. The resistance of water actually increases the brain benefits by 20%, according to research from the University of South Carolina. Now, speaking of things that seem harmless but destroy your brain, number 6 will shock you because it's something your doctor might have actually recommended. Number 6, taking sleep aids regularly. Those little pills that promise peaceful sleep might be fast-tracking you to memory loss. A Harvard study that followed 10,000 seniors for 7 years dropped a bombshell on the medical community. People who took sleep medications like ambient Lunesta or even over-the-counter sleep aids with diphenhydramine for more than 3 months had a 50% higher risk of developing dementia, 50%. And if they tow them for 3 years or more, that Risk jumped to 80%. Here's why this happens. Sleep medications don't give you real sleep, they sedate you. There's a huge difference. Real sleep has specific stages where your brain literally washes itself clean. During deep sleep, your brain cells shrink by 60%, allowing cerebral, spinal fluid to flush out toxic proteins. Sleep medications suppress these cleaning cycles. It's like never taking out the trash. Eventually, your house becomes unlivable. Your brain becomes unusable. Dr. Matthew Walker from UC Berkeley studied brain scans of people using sleep aids versus natural sleepers. The sleep aid users had 45% less slow-wave sleep, the stage where memory consolidation happens. They also had 70% less REM sleep, where emotional processing and creativity occur. Your brain on sleeping pills is like a computer that never fully shuts down to install updates. Eventually it crashes. The withdrawal from sleep aids makes insomnia worse, creating a vicious cycle. Your brain forgets how to fall asleep naturally. Instead of pills, try the military sleep method that works for 96% of people within 6 weeks. First, cool your bedroom to 67 degrees. Your brain needs to drop 2 degrees to initiate sleep. Take a hot shower or bath 90 minutes before bed. When you get out, your body temperature plummets, triggering sleepiness. Eat 2 kiwis 1 hour before bed. I know it sounds weird, but Type Medical University found this increases sleep duration by 13% and sleep quality by 42%. Kiwis contain serotonin and antioxidants that regulate sleep cycles. If you can't stand kiwis, try a handful of pistachios or tart cherries. They're the only natural sources of melatonin that actually work. The 478 breathing technique knocks most people out within 3 minutes. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system, forcing your body into rest mode. Do this while pressing your tongue against the ridge behind your front teeth. This position, borrowed from ancient yoga, stimulates a nerve that calms your entire system. The next habit is something 75% of seniors do daily, thinking they're being social and informed. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it, and subscribe. We've got more powerful senior health tips videos coming every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Number 5, watching more than 4 hours of TV daily. Your television might be eating your brain faster than any disease could. The University of London studied 3,500 adults over 50 for 6 years, tracking their TV habits and cognitive decline. People who watched more than 4 hours daily had an 8% decline in verbal memory. Those who watched more than 7 hours daily showed brain changes identical to Alzheimer's patients. Their brains literally started showing the same patterns of deterioration. Television puts your brain in a passive state, worse than sleeping. When you sleep, your brain is incredibly active, processing memories and cleaning out toxins. When you watch TV, your brain waves slow to almost nothing. It's like putting your brain in a coma while you're awake. Researchers call this cognitive sedentarism, and it's more dangerous than physical inactivity. The type of content matters enormously. News programs are the worst offenders. A study of 14,000 people found that watching negative news for just 14 minutes increased anxiety markers by 67% and cortisol by 43%. Chronic cortisol elevation literally kills neurons in your hippocampus. Game shows and educational programs showed 30% less cognitive decline than news or reality TV. But here's the real kicker. It's not just what you watch, it's how you watch. Binge watching is exponentially worse than spacing out viewing. When you watch more than 2 episodes in a row, your brain stops forming distinct memories. Everything blurs together. The University of Texas found that binge watchers had double the rate of cognitive decline compared to moderate viewers. The blue light from screens suppresses melatonin production for up to 3 hours after viewing. This destroys your sleep quality even if you fall asleep easily. Poor sleep quality increases dementia risk by 33%, according to Johns Hopkins research. If you must watch TV, wear blue light blocking glasses that filter at least 90% of blue wavelengths. The 20 to ones from the pharmacy don't work. You need amber or orange lenses that make everything look yellow. Replace passive watching with interactive activities. If you love stories, try audiobooks while doing something physical like folding laundry or organizing. Your brain stays active when your hands are busy. Video games, surprisingly, are better than TV. Studies show that strategic games like chess or puzzle games increase gray matter volume by 12% in just 6 months. Even simple games like Tetris improve spatial reasoning and memory. Set a timer for 2 hours maximum of recreational screen time. When it goes off, do something that requires thinking. Do a crossword, call a friend, or learn something new. On YouTube. Yes, YouTube can be better than TV if you're actively learning rather than passively consuming. The key is interaction and intention. Number 4 is something you probably did this morning without thinking twice about it. Number 4, eating processed breakfast foods. That innocent-looking bowl of cereal or toast with jam is literally poisoning your brain every morning. The Rush University Medical Center followed 5,000 adults for 5 years, tracking their breakfast habits and cognitive function. People who ate processed breakfast foods had a 28% faster rate of cognitive decline. But when they looked specifically at sugary cereals and pastries, that number jumped to 44%. Here's what happens in your brain when you eat processed breakfast. The refined sugars cause your blood glucose to spike by 200% within 30 minutes. Your pancreas panics and floods your system with insulin. This insulin surge triggers inflammation throughout your body, but especially in your brain. The inflammation damages the blood-brain barrier, the protective shield that keeps toxins out of your brain tissue. Once that barrier is compromised, heavy metals, bacteria, and inflammatory proteins flood into your brain. Dr. Suzanne de Lamont from Brown University calls. Alzheimer's type 3, diabetes because of how closely linked sugar consumption is to brain degeneration. Her research showed that people who consumed more than 25 g of added sugar at breakfast had brains that looked 8 years older. On scans, the average American breakfast contains 47 grams of added sugar. That's almost double the brain danger zone. Artificial sweeteners are even worse. The Boston University School of Medicine found that people who consumed diet sodas or used artificial sweeteners in their morning coffee had triple the risk of dementia and stroke. Triple aspartame and sucralose trigger the same insulin response as sugar, but without providing energy, leaving your brain starved and inflamed. The perfect brain, protecting breakfast, contains 3 elements. First, you need omega-3 fats. These rebuild your neuronal membranes that get damaged throughout the day. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, or mackerel are ideal. If you hate fish, take 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed or chia seeds. Second, you need choline-4, neurotransmitter production. Eggs are the best source. The Framingham Heart Study found that people who ate eggs daily had 47% better cognitive performance. Third, you need antioxidants to fight inflammation. Blueberries contain anthocyanins that cross the blood-brain barrier and protect neurons directly. Here's my brain-saving breakfast formula that takes 5 minutes to make. Scramble 2 eggs in coconut oil, which contains MCTs that your brain uses for instant energy. Add a cup of wild blueberries, not regular ones. Wild blueberries have double the antioxidants. Include half an avocado for monounsaturated fats that improve blood flow to your brain. Sprinkle everything with turmeric and black pepper. The curcumin in turmeric reduces brain inflammation by 48%, but only when combined with black pepper's piperine. If you're rushed, make overnight oats with steel cut oats, not instant. Steel cut oats release glucose slowly over 4 hours instead of spiking it in 30 minutes. Add cinnamon, which improves insulin sensitivity by 20%. Mix in walnuts, which look like tiny brains for a reason. They contain DHA, the exact omega-3 your brain needs for repair. This next habit is so common that 90% of seniors are guilty of it every single day. Number 3, breathing through your mouth. You're probably doing it right now without realizing it. Mouth breathing is silently destroying your brain, and most people have no idea. They're even doing it. The Nagoya University in Japan studied brain scans of chronic mouth brothers versus nose brothers. The mouth brothers had 20% less gray matter in their prefrontal cortex and 30% reduced activity in their hippocampus. Their brains were literally smaller and less active. When you breathe through your mouth, you're bypassing an incredible filtration system. Your nose produces nitric oxide, a molecule that increases oxygen absorption by 18%, destroying your brain. Here's the terrifying science of dementia, not 5%, not 50%,